Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is a special night. We have FIU Esports versus Panther for the Valorant playoffs.
Yeah, we got our ACAD playoffs here for NACE Club as we're already heading straight into the first round here. We'll be trading on these pistol rounds. Ghosts coming in here and there. Flash out of Garage here for Etherin. Not going to find too much as Iron Player's going to sneak down into short here, just trying to find anything. Turret's going to eventually have to be recalled here. As it does look to be like an A play for Panther here. As we will just trying to play this post plant, play this retake. Evan swing here for little M6. Will not find anything.
Very quickly into our first map here on Haven. It's off to a very quick start. We already have the bomb down there. A lot of tags going off. You see very low that Omen and the Viper both on the side. 2 minutes to get some picks off. Bring it down to just the Killjoy.
Down to a 1 versus 4 here for Kugo on the Killjoy. Trying to get a first pick. Gets that one. Can win this with the Classic, but the shot's just not going to connect that spread on those next two. Does do a little bit of damage there, but not going to be too much here as FIU is going to fall on their first pistol of Haven here. Haven pick was Panther's pick. FIU going to be taking us to Corrode next map, as then our decider will be Bind. Going to be a fun one to cast the game. That's is going to get some kills, you know? It's going to be a blast for sure.
Through our names here, we have Kugo, Lil M6, Retri, Nagi, Low Etherin, and then all the Panther players there.
We are not going to be calling one of their players' names, as that's not in English, and I don't want to mess that one up. So, you know, that Yoru is going to be called Yoru for the rest of this game. As yeah, I mean, haven't seen our FIU ACAD team yet so far in as far as streams have gone, but I've been watching some of the players' individual streams. They've done pretty well. Last time they played Haven, they actually won 13-1 last week, so we'll see if they can replicate that. However, they already down that one, so they don't really have the same level as. Gonna get killed him there during the take of that orb. We're gonna fall to a headshot there from the Viper. But it's now a 3 versus 4. Reddery solo holding mid here. Gonna try to look for a little bit of a lurk. Just playing noise. As Plant is going to go out on A site, and FIU gonna have to take a retake yet again.
Spike planted.
And hopefully they can. I mean, having that that knowledge already on Haven, having that practice down, really gives them a little bit of advantage here. We do see a pick from Reddery here.
Unpicked up here for Reddery as M6 is playing short. Gonna swing out with this right click, find the one on Uber. Now it's down to a 1 versus 3. FIU a beautiful beautiful eco there. Thrifty. They're gonna make sure not to give over that round, as now they're gonna have the guns in their pockets, and you know, Panther's gonna be forced to spend money here on this third round instead of having a front run a bonus.
And it's great to see this too, because tuned in weeks ago, we had the main team, and they were having a lot of trouble with the economy here. So hopefully Academy can kind of see that from their companions on the Valorant side of things, and pick up.
It'll be a hard eco here for Panthers as Sheriffs, Ghosts are out. Ghost Light Shields. I mean, it's basically just a pistol round yet again, as FIU on the here at the lead. As Reddery gonna look for the scan dart initially. Bounce. Not find anything, but Nagi's going to get traded out by that. So 1-for-1 there. Jet falling. Not as much entry potential onto, you know, for these retakes. Reddery, though, sitting on top of this box, taking a high peek here, is going to get droned out. Has to play behind this smoke. As that's wants to swing out. Drones get traded. Reddery does end up.
In this middle push here, we're already down to a 4v4. No bomb down. Panthers are, they're getting a little bit closer here.
We'll just be taking this one slow here, making sure not to overextend on this defense side, as it looks like Panthers are going to head right back to actually be a play, but they want to lean towards A. See KJ lurking up A long here, as the other three are going to be playing through short, trying to get the spike down, as it is going to be an A play. 50 seconds left on the clock, as Iron Player is going to take this first contact here in main, but is just going to get alarm botted out.
And we see
Here we go.
they are very, very sneaky here, trying to make sure to get that flank off. We get one pick off on Kugo there, and the rest of FIU is jumping at the opportunity to deny this plant. Get another pick off on Iron Player, and another one on our Low Etherin here.
Low Etherin finding a lot of value from this Heaven Peak, as just a little bit of a getting caught off guard there was Kugo, but Low Etherin there to back up, as now it's 2v3. this retake. There's no plant down. 12 seconds on the clock, so Panthers, they're just going to try to play for picks here as well. M6 not going to hit that flick. Spike will end up actually going down due to that play into CT there from the Yoru of Panther. Now, and Heaven smoked off here. This contact from Rhetoric has to be good, but Yoru's going to get that first one, as now it's a 2v1 with Etherin left with 1 HP. Playing out CT here, but they're fighting into a hard crossfire.
Yeah, and it's looking a lot like that first round here already. Unfortunately, Low Etherin does get taken out, meaning it is another point for the side of the Panthers here.
Yeah, thrifty there for Panthers. Despite the fact that they lost that second round, right, lost their bye, they're not gonna be too discouraged. They run it. They they play quick. They do a very nice A push there late into the round after getting some info mid, just clearing out utility here for Fuel, and then the trick, or the alarm bot rather, comes out mid or for a main from Hugo, but just not going to be attention there, is going to get caught. As now it's a weird buy for Fuel. Saw Bucky, saw Scout, a couple sheriffs here, so they're going to be in a little bit of trouble here. As Vex looking for something A main, but not going to find anything. Instead, just going to smoke out B. As Fuel just slow, making sure just to play contact as Panther. They're just going to keep walking. This short lurk, though, from Iron Player could find a lot of value.
We do see they are trying to go for that B push right down the middle. A lot of sight lines being held here. We do see that Omen on flank watch. And Fuel is very well dispersed here. They are trying to make sure that they have all their corners checked, making sure that no sight gets taken.
With Sky falling in Garage, I imagine they're going to play towards the B site now. It's a little bit weaker here. Panthers making sure just to play contact. 2 more picks come out onto mid. Left, just left a little M6 alone here on B. He's going to get walled off by this Vipers. Instead, they're just going to walk right back to A site. Does not find the shot there, M6 with the Marshall. Be a flawless here for the side of Panther on this.
That is another point in the favor of Panther. And that we are to the 4th round here, right into the buy phase. See a lot of the same kind of guns come out, right? We see Vandal and a lot of high economy on the side of the Panthers here, because they know that they need to play aggressive to keep this streak up. And it looks like they're actually going to go for a C push this time instead of going for B and then kind of splitting up as they have.
Yeah, looks to be maybe a play here with the Dimensional Drift here for the Yoru, who TP's in, just going to get a lot of contact. But remember, you can't use any of your flashes or your clone here through when you're in this ultimate. It's just more of an info ult. It does clear out the site. Smoke in Garage. Like, inside of it is another orb going to be thrown CT here for Uber. As Iron Player going to find that first kill onto M6 in Garage, and now Fuel going to have to play very defensive here as they have to swing out Garage. Iron Player and the Yoru just going to find insane value here on this Garage swing. I mean, a 2v4 basically. It's just left for Rhetoric. We don't really have too much value on this retake as a Sova alone. Play careful. Does find one. Just try to find as much economy damage as possible, but only ends up finding that 4-1 lead here for the team.
Unfortunately, Thats gets that last kill off, and it's not looking too great for the side of Fuel here. Unfortunately, already 1-4 going into round 6 here. We see again with these picks here on the economy side of things, we see 3 marshals and all light shields come out. No shields on the Sky. Unfortunately, them losing that pistol round and not having that eco bonus from the very start is very clearly bleeding into their profit. I mean, running 3 marshals is pretty crazy. As we see the Euro come out with an op here as well. This is going to be a sniper's match.
Yeah, Fuel definitely here. And a bit of on a back foot for sure. Is Rhetoric going to try to take something here on the C long, but instead, Yoru's already played back. Is going to swing out aggressively here, but at the same time, both players up here are going to look away. Catching Nagi on a timing there. As does swing out, gets that pick with the Sheriff. The Operator is out of play, but you're down to a 3 versus 4 here as the rest of Panther is going to walk into this A site contested.
And Iron Player gets a nasty little pick off on the Jet player there.
He's going to go to pick up that off.
Yeah, to steal it and run away. As the Killjoy is still all the way in the back of the map here. for the Panthers, making sure nobody is flanking. But I think they need to realize that the last couple people are on A site. We see some utility come out. That scan dart does not get, but Hugo
Got this lockdown. Maybe look for something. Just wants to find a person first. Does in fact find it. As now it's just left to Iron Player, but Spike is ticking down as dangerously low. Does he have time? Does seem like he may. A very good clutch here for Kugo with a 4K in that round, making sure not to, bring Fuel a little bit of energy back. You see some points. Etherin looking over towards Kugo. Kugo, a little bit of a sigh of relief there. Augie just gonna be calming aggressively, same as M6. Seems like Fuel, they're gonna stay locked in, but Etherin definitely some joy in the comms right now, which is very good. Nagi getting this good pick here.
Beautiful kill with the
Long.
Sheriff.
Iron Player does pick him off here on this high-low peak, because Etherin's not going to find those shots, but just an insane comeback here from Kugo, finding 4 basically alone. Solo this round and bring Fuel 2-4 and not going to let the snowball keep rolling.
Yep. Absolutely beautiful round for Fuel there. Props to Kugo for that. As we go into round 7, see an operator on the C long there. 1 pick off immediately on the Euro. And just like that, I think we see comms go out as Fuel starts to rotate into mid. But that Killjoy is sitting there. She does get 1 pick off on the Nagi. And then another pick onto Retchery.
A weird feeling that this Iron Player is not in fact Iron.
No, not at all.
Disgusting shots so far. Finding 3 in this round. Basically solo bringing Panther right back into it after that first op kill there for Lil M6. Hugo, though, here has the hot hand, does get the spike down. Now Uber gonna win that duel as it's a 3 versus 1, and you're retaking with an operator on this B site, which is not that easy. M6 smoked off by the Omen of Panther. Now playing picks up a Vandal instead to try to take this retake. The Bats might have a contact here on Garage, has a flank. M6 none the wiser, just gonna headshot there as Fuel just gonna go right back to the drawing board as 2-5. Panther, they're not discouraged by losing these one-off rounds, right? They're just coming right back out swinging. This first pick here for M6 is beautiful, but this mid play from Iron Player is even better. Picking off 3 alone here. Hugo not able to find too much value in that mid. Now the op is back in the Yoru's hands. Full buy as Fuel. You're looking Stingers, you're looking Sheriffs, you're looking rough buys here. But they do have, there's 9 ultimates up right now in this game. Fuel can maybe make some damage. I mean, Augie can maybe pull those knives, try to make some magic happen. They're going to be playing a quick C play here. It does in fact pull the knives
immediately,
but
does get taken out by that, unfortunately. We also see the Sky get taken out, but that also gets traded by the other Omen. And again, with those ultimates, I'm curious to see if they're going to try to expend them now or save them before that round swap.
One mid player here, 1 player with a gun here for the side of Fuel, but the Viper's Pit's going to come down B, just lock down this side entirely as the plant comes in. There's 3 players rotating around. Hugo looking for something through an A play here, but M6 going to fall to the operator spam, and now it's just Retchery and Kugo left alive with a vector here, so it's not going to be too winnable. Uber just going to sit inside of their own Viper's Pit. Shorty finds 1, Kugo left alone. Kind of timing here though, but with the gun showing, he's gonna get knifed to death.
Kill through the Viper's Pit.
That one's gonna be a rough one for sure for Fuel.
Yeah, Fuel's gonna be real upset after that one.
Yeah, I mean, get that Shorty kill shot, but just doesn't find the info due to the smoke there, right? Due to being in the Viper's Pit. And the knife, just enough damage to get this pick. Beautiful pick there for that, as well as not getting traded out immediately, instead finding a second pick on to Low Etherin. So 2 picks for the price of 1 for the side of Panther. Very good here, as now seeing Fuel 2-6. They're struggling here on this.
It seems like Haven was not the greatest choice, or I guess it was the greatest choice from the enemies here. I believe Haven was their map. Hopefully, as we move into Corrode, it's going to warm up a little bit. And kind of get back into their paces here. As we start off into this round, round 9, we see another big push into C long, and that Killjoy is just waiting for the flank. Everybody is on C immediately, but Panther's actually going to plant and immediately pull back long there as the Killjoy is going to rotate around. Down to a 4v5.
In this post plant here, our Panther, as the Hunter's Fury is going to be pulled out for Arc, not finding anything, but the kills on Iron Player and the Yordu are going to be good. Monkey, though, finding 2 so far in this round. Finds a 3rd of the Duelist, but just going to dash a little bit too aggressive, overheating there maybe, as Rhetoric almost finding that clutch there, but Nagi may have overheated there. Not going to be very happy with how he ended up playing that final last 2 kills there. Dash right into 2, it would have been, but I wanted to get to Cubby, wanted to get to that location to maybe play a little bit more aggressive, but was a little bit short there. Hunter's Fury does not find anything here for Arc. Fuel getting back. I mean, Nagi finding the spam kill, finding the other one. I think this kill in Garage is very big. Dashing into 2. They're going to fall 2 to 7 on this defense half. They have 3 ultimates up versus 2. Both KJs still have their lockdowns. Neither have been able to find a value of them. As well as Hunter's Fury here for Fuel. Has 2 Omen ults for both sides, but they're not really going to have too much value unless you're in, clutch or a post-plant situation. As Nagi and M6 just can start the round instantly firing, as well as Rhetoric. Round almost already seems like it's over before it even began, as Nagi sitting in the main here, traded out by Rhetoric, making sure that double peek. And now just Arc left alone here. In the 1v4 is not that easy. We'll have to ace to win this round. Hit the shots on Etherin, though, as Etherin's going to end up finishing that off with the sidearm, with the Sheriff. Right there, side of Panther, a very quick round.
Yeah, very, very quick round for Fuel there. Bring them up to 3-7. As we saw in the main team's game, there was a lot of back and forth. They ended up making a pretty big clutch. Despite losing the game, they did manage to bring it up to a tie almost.
And Haven is definitely attack-sided, so
Oh,
definitely can see Fuel maybe do a little bit better here on this attack half, as Hugo be setting up on C here instead of setting up on A, which is what they were doing earlier in the round. You'll have, some things mid, but the real value of KJ is actually holding mid on this site, as your Omen will be sitting C, but wanting to do a little bit of a change up as used to this play here. Dark, spam M6, he's going to get spammed out, but not too much damage, just take a little bit of a tag there from Arc. Guys, pick up here for the Sova, but Nagi is in a very deep position as well. That's going to be out here on Garage. Nagi finding first contact onto Uber is going to win that, which is an early pick here for Fuel, as they can now back off. You're not going to have those Viper walls, those Viper smokes, those mollies for that post plant, as much as they would like here for Panthers. They're going to have to walk through B.
Unlike their previous rounds, Panther is kind of switched up here, as they're very divided. They still have that Killjoy in the middle and Omen coming up onto C. They are going to rotate over to get a plant onto C, hopefully. As we see Fuel start to rotate around, we see that Jet going in for a flank across the map. The alarm bot does go off, and Hugo does get taken out by the Euro. Euro does get taken out. A trade with Etherin there.
Etherin left alone here, though, as Rero is going to be coming back, as well as Nagi with a beautiful flank here. He's going to whiff onto that, but finds those kills eventually, as that was just still none the wiser. Etheren's going to find 3 in this round for Fuel to take a second round in the row. The first time they've won 2 rounds in a row, which might be a bit of a sign they're starting to come alive, right? They're starting to wake up, starting to feel that fire start to burn.
I saw them playing a lot of deathmatch before the stream started.
They played 1 game. They ended up winning that one, I believe, 13-5. So they're not doing too bad so far. They have some practice for their team, as see if they can keep that up. Haven, though, always just an interesting map. It really is just game dependent, because each team plays it so differently, right? They're playing different types of comps versus every team. I mean, this team is a Yordu comp. Some teams play Jet, some teams play Cypher comp, some teams play Viper comps, right? There's a lot of different variety on this map. A lot is viable. Looks to be a quick A play here, but that Dart is going to find one. Instead, it's going to be stopped by the wall of Viper. Nagi does find Iron Player. Tag there for Rhetoric. Onto the Yoru, who's now left at 17 HP. This game is already kind of stopped here for the side of Panther, as Fuel going to be in. Hunter's Fury here for Rhetoric. Does not find anything. It just discourages Panther here in this A.
Absolutely. And that lockdown is going to be really brutal for Panther here, as we see this drone come out from Retri.
Anything, though. So you're going to see Panther still play on this A short here. Nagi going to swing out with the off. Does get tagged by the drone, but is still going to find the pick in the end. He's now 2 picks there for him in this round. 17 HP Yoru. It's not going to be the easiest, attack here for the side of Panther, as they might end up down 7-5 for this first half. A lot better for Fuel than before. You definitely want to get that 5th round, as that's going to use the Omen ult just for some info. Finds Reddery on backside. Nagi here going to find a 3rd. Reddery getting flushed out of hell here by that
30
smoke.
seconds left.
Nagi just finding so much value, as it looks like he's going to take another contact here on A main. Sees the gun.
Sees the gun sticking out around the corner.
Can't find the damage, as the op's not going to kill through the smoke, or through the wall rather. Nagi's holding this one slow. Not aware of the player next to him, as he does get paranoia. It's spammed out, but M6 is going to find that trade. It's just that's left alone versus 3 members of Fuel. Moethrin going to get that final spray through the smoke. Fuel 5-7 on this defense half. Not too bad, especially, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been 9-3, but they found those it should have actually been 9 or 10-2, but they found 3 rounds in a row. They're going to bring themselves with a little bit of momentum going into the second half onto their attack. Have to see a good pistol though.
That streak is going to help out Fuel a lot here. As we saw in that round, Panther's push getting shut down immediately was absolutely devastating for him. The Euro he was just holding lines of sight. He knew he needed to get a little bit of pressure, get 1 pick off, and then try to get into sight, but he couldn't because he was so low. And it kind of snowballed into that, losing Panther the round.
Indeed, as Nagi as well with the operator in hand, finding those value picks, starting to heat up in these later rounds. Right, you saw the C play, then you see the A play where he finds 3. Now he makes some magic happen with his ghost in hand. Has dash. Reddery gonna find the first pick onto the Yoru, as already open up short here, as it's no one holding it other than this Viper who's deep in. Nagi as well gonna pick off the Sova, which means the retake will be so much harder here for Panther, as you don't have that sort of scan utility. Instead, 4 already going down, as Fuel looking to just take this one dominantly. It's just Nagi here. That's left alone. Hold on these steps. Find this first contact. Nagi might not find him in time. Does he get traded out by Reddery though? Does indeed. Reddery finding 3 on that round. As Fuel 6-7. Almost tie us up here on this attack half and get that pistol. Now we need to see if they can win this next round, or if they're going to fall like Panther did.
Yeah, and that pistol round is going to be very crucial for them. Having the economy to be able to keep up this win streak, this snowball into the attack side, is going to help them out tremendously in the end game. Obviously, we were talking a little bit earlier about how the Academy team did pretty well on Haven last time.
Nagi just typed W in chat because the score is 6-7. Feels correct at the very least. So here, you're gonna look for a C play here for Fuel, just playing it quick onto C, just walking up long. Out smokes in, trying to spam through that smoke into CT. Gonna be able to take aggressive, as Nagi's gonna hold very close. Reddery finding that tag through the smoke. Getting this AJ down to 35 HP. A Bucky here for the Yard, who is going to try to find some sort of value in these close fights. Hugo, though, going to find Iron Player here, maybe in Garage. He's stuck behind this Viper wall, as all of Fuel pretty much on C, except for Hugo here in that Garage. We see Catherine playing deep in C main. Now Kugo. Iron Player instead. Reddery going to clear out Iron Player. Now there's still 2 players here for Kugo to deal with. Finds one, does not find the transfer, as that is going to pick that up, but will not be able to pick up the gun due to the rest of Fuel being there ready to play it. Paranoia comes out the side of Panther, but it just finds their own Viper. M6 and Reddery going to find these trades, as the spike ended up blowing up in the meantime. Fuel take that one, as they got the spike down pretty much as soon as the round started, and just played a beautiful, stopping Panther from being able to retake. Stopping. Beautiful post-plant there for Fuel.
Absolutely. I think Fuel kind of realized that Panther was playing a little bit more strategically earlier on, and they needed to take advantage of that, especially already having advantage on the attacking side. They needed to go 100% on that, and we can see here with this aggression and this speed.
This is a weird bonus for Fuel, though. I mean, you have a couple guns, you have a Bulldog here and there, but you also have 2 Sheriffs. As you're going to be fighting basically a full buy minus a judge here. Ark going to find that first pick onto Kugo, though, on A main rather, finding a deep pick as swung up A long. Now Reddery be here to find some sort of value in mid. Does have the spike, so can't play too aggressively, as it looks like Fuel 3 players over towards Garage. Nagi going to try to find something with this Guardian, this high penetration power, but will not be able to break through the garage door. The wall comes out for the side of Panther, and this is really what the Viper excels in. It's so hard to take through garage, through C because of this Viper wall. Just having to walk through exactly what Panther wants, as thrown out for Rhetoric is going to get broken. Now they know that there's someone here. Not too much value. Doesn't end up getting tagged onto the Yoru. Fuel has to back off.
We see Low Etherin coming out with the singular Sheriff play, trying to save on the economy a little bit here, especially after last round. We can see a lot of kills go out. Dats gets a double kill, but then gets taken out by Rhetoric. Rhetoric takes out Arc. He's down to a 1v2. Takes out Rhetoric, and just like that is another point for Panther, bringing them up to 7-8.
Yeah, I want to highlight Arc there that round. Basically solo held A and took out 2 players of Fuel who both tried to make some value happen. See one player who, M6 walked up deep short. This box play as well from that's going to find 2 for Fuel, not ready to swing into that corner. Rhetoric trying to find a clutch, but not able to rotate back to A in time, as Fuel will be back on the deficit, 7-8. They will have a buy here for themselves. It's going to be full buy versus full buy, basically. Might be Panther with... Oh, should have a full buy here for them, as Dart comes in, gets instantly broken by the Yoru, who's looking for a flash lineup here. Finds Nagi, but Nagi just going to force the TP away as he doesn't take damage. 78 damage, does lose his full shield though. As the orb here mid, a main is going to stop this. Fuel just going to walk through it. Arc darting out, finds nothing. Plant comes down for Fuel.
Rhetoric does get that plant down. He managed to sneak on into sight. This is what we love to see from Fuel here, this aggression, the ability to get straight onto site here.
Yeah, as now we'll be seeing Fuel looking for this post plant. Arc will spot one player here behind box, as Rhetoric gonna get shot there in the body right through this Heaven Peak, as Arc is stuck up here, but not really getting cleared out by Fuel. This Hell player though, Nagi finding one, M6 and Etherin as well finding trades. Nagi gonna find another in Hell. Having so much value here as a TP out for that. Take another contact. Nagi gonna lose that one. It's time a 1v1 versus the Omens. But M6 has a beautiful location here on the cubby, and the Spike is down. Going to tick, fall. M6 will find that last pick, but Spike ends up exploding. All players for both teams wiped out.
And that brings the score up to 8-8, meaning we are tied and have, I believe,
Dead even
4
match.
rounds left.
Could be more, it depends first to 13, right? But could be goes 12-12, then seeing how it goes is now Fuel. They're back on even. They're back to even footing, but the money, they just bought their full buy. We'll see how each team's money is going to be. In fact, Panthers instead are going to be the one in a rough situation, as Fuel able to save a bit of money because they have these jet knives. Augie looking for an aggressive swing, that updraft over the wall. He loves to do that play. As a staple of his on Val last year. Now, players on A for the side of Panther are going to be a little bit weaker as their guns just aren't there. The Dog is going to find the Omen. It's going to be traded out here by their Yoru. Flash comes in. Iron player finds one on this flank. Fuel corralled like
Spike down A.
chickens. Really, 4 players of Panther coming from in every way. It's left to Nagi in a 2v2 here. Rhetoric here going to be swinging out as well. You're stuck inside of these nano mines. Has to push aggressively here for Nagi. Not going to be able to find it. A beautiful flank there for Iron Player. And the Viper of Panther on just coming through A main. Fuel just playing too quick, playing in. And kind of stuck here, which means that their rotation through B was just free for Panther, and they were able to get them stuck in short. Beautiful pick here, though, from Nagi.
Absolutely insane lineup from Nagi there on that updraft. We saw that Sewers play was not the play. It was an absolute death box.
Just got
I mean,
stuck. They
yeah.
just couldn't push out of it in time due to the amount of time that was bought by the Yoru Flash, by the Omen TP, who ended up getting dogged out. People thought they had to push it, and then 2 players able to rotate behind it. Even with weaker guns, it didn't matter. Those classics still do damage if you're not looking there. M6 going to lose that trade onto Iron Player C main, which means now Fuel a little bit of problem. Be in trouble here is now Uber be able to hold garage here. Fuel looking to have to play a B play, but there's 3 players of Panther looking at them. C swing again, picking up that Marshall that M6 had. Iron Player still has the gun advantage. The Odin here for the Yoru, not something we see every day. Spam through these walls. Nagi getting traded out. Has to dash defensively, not get spammed. As they're just left with Sheriffs here. It's a struggle for Fuel.
Euro being very cheeky there, trying to peek while reloading, making sure he knows where everybody is. We do see Fuel in this very middle section. They were trying to go for a B push, it seems, but they're actually going to run around for a, what seems to be an A push.
40 seconds, though. They don't have much time to really dilly-dally. They have to start making a play now, and it looks like it is going to be A. Can Arc solo hold this yet again, or is he just going to get overwhelmed as these players of Fuel are walking aggressively? 25 seconds left on the clock as Rhetoric and Nagi is swinging out here, well as Etherin, who has those splashes, but Arc here as well as the rest of Panther have figured out that this is the play. The Odin is here. Arc comes in. Arc finds one, does fall to Rhetoric. 1, 2 fall, 3 fall for Fuel, as now it's just left for Hugo, who's going to fall to the Odin as well. The Yoru finding so much value there with the Odin, just be able to spam through these plays in the post plant. Not able to set up in time due to the time, crunch. Panther figured out that their player's running as, Arc ended up hearing that noise, relayed to their team that there was someone going to be A there as Fuel falls, and
Fuel,
9, 10 to 8.
They might have been a little bit too antsy there, as they were sneaking around to A, but they were a little too dramatic, getting that actual plant down a little too rough with it. Although hopefully they keep up what they originally had going here with that speed, like we saw in that original C plant. Immediately getting down. Yeah, they are all stacked up on A here. We only have Arc. He is gonna get a scan dart down.
Beautiful.
It will get a couple people there.
That dart two there. Now Panther know that there's a bunch of players over towards A. They already all are here. Yep. They are gonna get smoked out. Arc again sitting heaven, playing here for so long. The drone out for Rhetoric is not gonna find much info, but it will clear out the site as the smokes for M6. So much work here, 75 HP as it gets shock darted. AJ lockdown here for the side of Panther is going to be used to push this site out for Fuel. Spike does come down. Rhetoric using this ult here. AJ ult does get destroyed. Uber though going to find that value with the molly. The 1-for-1. Rhetoric though finding the player in heaven as Yoru Odin not be able to swing out in time. M6 finding 2 more. And Fuel taking that round, taking a little bit of a fight back. 9 to 10 now. And really, that round was just defined by speed again, right? They get onto site quickly. You do see Panther, respond in time because of how good that dart there was for Arc, but ends up losing the duel to Rhetoric through main, as then the rest of Fuel able to just completely take over. But again, beautiful dart, finds 2 here, as M6 though going to find 3 in the round. The Yoru ult not going to find too much value as Rhetoric able to fight this, does hear the sound in time, swings out, ends up winning that duel, finding 2 there as well as M6.
It seems like the Odin on the Euro was not the play. The Panthers got a lot of value off that Sova playing Heaven, especially with that scan dart. Being able to respond to that is really the decider here.
Already going to look for something through C, but then 2 players of Panther are here to respond. So now C is the heavy spot, whereas A is the weak side for Panther yet again. Seems like Garage is really where things are going to be happening, as Drone is out for Rhetoric. 3 players, if you are kind of just sitting around there. Looks like they're going to instead walk towards B main with Etherin, but Iron Player is going to pick off Nagi on C. C here is now Fuel. They're kind of forced to play this B.
And as they push into B, we don't see any picks quite yet in this push here. We see a smoke come out from that.
Used.
They
too low.
Yep. Shock darts, Nats and Yerber do get picked off. Fuel down to 2 people. Plant has not gone down just yet. See a lot of spam out on those walls, trying to flush out Fuel. Low Etherin and Lil M6 do get taken out in those final moments.
Fuel not happy about losing that round, as you bounce back, but instantly Panther, it seems like every time you feel like you're starting to get your footing again, they're just going to snatch that one right out from under your grasp, as they're now up 9 to 11. Trying to bring themselves to map point here to stop this play the side of Fuel, as it's going to be an buy here. I feel like we're in a little bit of economy trouble here. You see Sheriffs out. You're going to see Odin's full buys here for Panther, so this round, Fuel really has to make some sort of magic happen on these Thrifties. Which means I'm expecting a very fast play because that's how Thrifties usually go. As Shockdart will find a couple people, does get breaks the scan, walks away, but now they know that there's so many people here towards A. Seems like you've got enough info as only 2 players are going to rotate over. Viper, the KJ, and the Omen are a little bit slow here, but Arc finding Rhetoric.
Spike down A.
The util for Fuel is now going to be a little bit of a problem.
Yep. And again, that scan dart coming out from Arc, letting them know that the team is pushing A. We do see a flank from the Killjoy, a very slow one. As picks go out, Fuel's only down to 3 people. 1 minute left on the clock, and they have not planted yet. Out, and tag goes out. Hugo manages to wallbang that, and
Ran out of ammo!
Arc runs out of ammo on the swing.
This flank from Iron Player, though, can find a lot of value, but only sees one, doesn't see Kugo there. It's now a 1 versus 2 as M6 and Kugo instead just going to rotate, right? They don't really have to play on A here. Seems like the Viper may have read this. It's looking like it's going to be a C play, but Fuel, they can take this double swing, right? They don't have to play. They can play this one where they're going to win this fight every time. As Kugo going to run up here, does end up finding. Uber has read this beautifully. The spike comes down as Uber swinging out, finds one, stops the spike from being planted. It's just M6 left alive. Spike is in such a rough position. Push up past this Odin here. He's
10
not
seconds left.
find it. As Uber gonna find that headshot, the clutch 9-12 here for the side of Panther on map point. It feels like Fuel, they thought they had the read with running back to C, but Viper Uber was just a 1 step ahead. It was there to stop Kugo on this plant. Just wasn't being covered by M6.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate play. Again, I'm very surprised that they let the plank go down without watching a flank. The prediction from the Viper.
That KJ had 9,000 credits. That KJ was max money. I mean, the money here for the side of Panther is insane. It's now Fuel have to take. They're on must-win rounds, right? Do or die here. As they look at scan, they will scan out Yoru. Flash out, but Flash is not going to find anything. As Epson's going to pick off Yoru. Shock Dart finds some value. TP aggressive here for M6, who finds yet another Shock Dart. Now looks like an entry play here. Augie going to swing in. Rhetoric going to get that plant down as Kugo playing this cubby. Etherin going to play a little bit too aggressive here, though. Going to get picked off by Uber. Now 4v4 as a very low HP for the 2 members. Sova and the Omen. Either team is going to be quite low here. They're all kind of just stuck in CT, but it does look like Iron Player are going to be looping around towards heaven.
You see so much utility come out alongside the drone here. Someone finally, Iron Player does go up into heaven here. Prize does get a pick off on Nagi. Another 2 picks off, 3 picks. And just like that, with just barely enough time to defuse, was a final point for Panther.
Yeah, Haven gonna fall, 13-9 for Panther. Fuel not very happy, but you are going towards your map pick now, right? Corrodes, where they're really feeling comfortable. We'll see how their comp is gonna end up doing and how Panther's gonna be able to respond, as they're definitely on the back foot now.
Absolutely, and hopefully their ability to coordinate within the map itself, and especially the tactics they use. I mean, we saw the jet updraft knife pick. That was beautiful. And hopefully they have some tricks on Corrode. I mean, it is a little bit of a newer map, but hopefully we'll see some interesting stuff go down.
Felt like whenever those slow rounds happened, Fuel kind of struggled. When those rounds were hectic, when they could just kind of out-aim their opponents, that's when they really started to shine. But as soon as the game slows down, as soon as these defaults come in, the util is used just to flood them out of sight, just get some info, get some value, get util out of Fuel, and then they're able to slowly move over. That's where I felt like FIU really started to shine and really started to end up winning those rounds, and Fuel just couldn't find enough of those hectic rounds.
Yeah, no, they definitely did really good with any of the real aggression, like that first long C push, that immediately getting into sight, immediately getting plant down, making it so the time is in your favor was really crucial for Fuel. It was just a problem of utility and a problem of, is the entire team on the other side of this wall?
Again, we'll see how Corrode's going to go for Fuel. It is their map pick. We're expecting, a bit of flash of brilliance. We saw some flashes here and there, right? And Corrode's around a map where you really don't have to be as, methodical with how you play, right? A lot of it's going to be around mid. You're going to be seeing a lot of players kind of walk down that mid, and you try to out aim their opponents, right?
Yeah.
Seeing it on both sides. We'll see how Fuel ends up doing here.
Yeah, Road is a very sort of spider web map. A lot of tunnels. It's sort of a maze of map, very close combat. We might actually see some Buckies.
Yeah, we will see. Maybe, yeah, definitely could see those shotguns. But we'll have to see as we're going to be loading into that second map. Before that, we're going to take a quick short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I will soon. Knew as a child back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my room. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom.
Welcome back, everybody. Back after a first map loss there for Fuel. They're going to be hoping to take the second map, but because we ran into that first map a little bit quick, right? We ran right into it. We're going to do a little bit of talk about, what's going on in this playoffs as we do take a look at the playoffs bracket, as this is a quarters final match between Fuel and Panther. Winner of this is going to fight Miami Uni or Redbird JV in semis, and then there's another half, right? We got it's a 16-person bracket, but we're just showing our half. So seeing to maybe end up winning this tourney. We'll see how, Fuel, if they can bounce back on Corrode here. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully they do bounce back. I mean, we've heard that they've had a little bit more practice on Corrode. They typically do a little bit better with the win-loss ratio there. It's going to be very important to them because going into that final bracket will then lead them into the second half of the bracket.
Yeah, we'll see. As looking at our roster,
yeah, we see the lineup here.
We saw them in the game, but we'll see them. We'll see at least two of them in person, right?
Yeah.
Haven't really got the rest so far, but we got Nagi, who's gonna be your main duelist. Rhetoric, gonna be your main initiator. Ethrin gonna be your main flash initiator. Mostly on the Sky, but we'll be playing actually on Corrode here. Definitely gonna be playing the KO. Kugo gonna be your sentinel as well as your Viper player, and then M6 is gonna be hard controller pretty much. Likes to play that Omen, likes to play that Clove a lot. Those are gonna be the two you're gonna be seeing a lot here. We'll see. Yeah, again, we're gonna be heading towards Corrode here. Bans ended up being, I believe that is Sunset and Split for the side of Fuel, as Pearl and Abyss were banned from, FIU, from the Panthers here. As our decider will be behind. We'll see if Fuel can take us there. As, yeah, we'll be seeing, KO, Sova, Viper, Omen, and Waylay here for the side of Fuel. Very standard comp for them. That's been what they've been running. I mean, this is their map that they like to, they tote as their best, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you'll be seeing Panther running fairly similar comp, but instead of running, not even similar at all, actually I lied. The only two things are going to be the same are going to be the Viper and the Omen. You'll be seeing Yoru, Chamber, and Fade. So a little bit more, less entry potential, but a little bit more, sentinel value, because you have a kind of a double sentinel, because the Viper can kind of play that senti role. You'll have the Fade versus Sova is kind of just a player-dependent thing, right?
Yeah.
Fade has a little bit better util to take corners. Sova has a little bit better, Molly's post-plant util here, as going to look for a dart here in main. Find nobody, just going to get destroyed, but Iron Player is going to get spammed out as this pistol is already starting. The Fade seed does get marked here by Kugo, but Nagi and Ethrin are going to find those picks early.
Mm-hmm. This is a very important part into this second map, as this will be the ultimate decider for at least the first half of the economy. As we go in, it's still just a 3v5. Fuel does get the plant down here, and it's mostly just a waiting game, holding those corners. As the smoke dissipates, we do see Nagi get taken out.
We're going to have a little bit of an advantage there on that smoke dissipating, just expecting where Nagi was going to be playing. So now, 3 versus 4 for the side of Fuel here. Uber, though, going to be able to maybe find this contact onto Kugo, but M6 finds the trade onto the Yoru. A very wide swing there for Kugo is going to end up, hitting Uber's aim off as a team ace coming out for Fuel. The player going to get a little bit of an action there as they're going to win a pistol, so now it's 2 pistols to 1 so far, and Fuel, they're right back to being happy, right? Ethrin really bringing that joy, bringing that, enthusiasm that a team really needs. Is got a lot of serious, a lot of stoic faces here, but Nagi going to join in the laugh, Rhetoric as well. You see a little bit of a smile on M6's face, so laughs all around. Fuel going to be feeling a little bit better after that first round. Fist bumps coming
Fist
all
bumps
around.
Go out.
You gotta get those fist bumps in. Even
course.
Kugo got a little bit of a smile there. Okay, everyone seems to be feeling it so far in Corrode. Again, this is kind of where they feel confident, where they're comfortable. Now, behind this 4 spy here, you'll see Spectres by Stingers, maybe a Bulldog. Here for Nagi, he's going to look for an aggressive swing. Ugly for Bulldogs again, I cannot lie. But nonetheless, Nagi going to fall in the meantime. Kugo going to get the trade onto Arc, but Uber going to find a second there. Gets going to fall, gets picked, brought down super low there on that jump spot. But 2 HP as Ethrin here holding it as the flank here for the side of the Yoru or Panther. Value here, the Iron Player on the Chamber just finds the one with the Sheriff. Uber, though, can be trading. I mean, the trades are coming in and out, but it's all Panther favored as the Bucky in the side. 50 here from the side of Panther, as they didn't have to spend much money at all, and it was a force buy here for fuel. So it seems like, you know, a bit of a similarities to that first map, right? So the first half we saw where, you know, one team, one pistol, then the team immediately stopped their force buy. But if that's the sign, then maybe fuel will end up going 6-1. We'll see.
Hopefully they switch it up here. We see a reverse, as long as it means that Fuel gets that that final point in and takes this map. That Viper was insanely low.
So close to getting that kill there
Rogue
from Etherin.
gust of wind could have killed them.
Yeah, but not gonna find it. 3 HP left alive, but that's enough to, you know, stay in the round, keep that util up there for the side of the Panthers. As now, being out here, Sheriffs are gonna be the buy for the side of Fuel, as the rest of Panther Guardians, they're on their kind of own light buy situation here. As Uber taking a little bit of damage here, not gonna find any trades. 50 pop flash out, not gonna find anything. The classic shots not where Ethan wanted them, but Kuko does find the Sheriff pick. Plant comes out for Rhetoric, but there's a player behind you.
A somewhat half-coordinated push as those flashes did go out, but unfortunately it was not enough. We see the Euro get taken out by Nagi on that flank, on that vertical, and just like that, that is another point for Panther.
Nagi gonna shake that one off as the rest of Fuel as well. I mean, the plant comes out, but there was, you know, kind of just a Viper sitting there the whole time, right? Yeah. Doesn't get flooded out here, just hides in this cubby, as Etherin's gonna lose that. As this plant comes in, Uber's just able to swing around right through the smoke, pick off Rhetoric, open up the map wide here for Panther. So they are going to take a 2-1 lead here, as the buy is going to be fairly even. There's going to be an operator here for the side of Panther, but also a Guardian and an Outlaw. So double sniper, just full Vandals and Phantoms here for the side of Fuel.
As we go into this fourth round here, we see that Recon Bolt already prepped. Fanshaw Fuel is going to go for an A push here. As we see that scan dart go out, it does not find anybody. See some blinds and smokes go out. Fuel is stunned here. They're in a little bit of a bad predicament, but no swings go out.
Finds one, but Nagi is going to fall to the operator of Yoru there. As Arc as well going to find Etherin, walks out. Now Uber just spamming the entire magazine there into the smoke. Not going to find any tags. Seas comes out for Arc. Just going to tag out. No sound. Is going to get blinded up. Instead, going to survive it. As the op comes out, Rhetoric finds one trade. 3 versus 2 here. Fuel has a little bit of a crossfire. Need to find an opening pick here, but the operator from this Yoru is just lethal, finding 3 in this round.
And despite having that crossfire, they picked their swings at the perfect time and managed to overtake them at that last second there.
Fuel has to find the answer to this operator here already, as Yoru has kind of been taking over these last couple rounds. You know, had the shotgun, kind of been playing, you know, a bit of musical chairs with every gun, right? Ran the Odin, ran the Bucky, ran the Judge. Now running the operator, can do it all, it seems. You know, you normally expect your operator to go to War 2 Chamber, but if your Yoru is going to be shooting like this, might as well. Now Nagi needs to find something. This Waylay hasn't found too much value. Hasn't been able to enter here with the dash or the, you know, or that recall. Right? Just kind of been stuck here, but does find that headshot there with the Sheriff Fuel.
Be right back.
It's in here, walk. But does get marked and just sprayed down by the Odin.
That was a nasty wallbang, that combo with the dart there. Getting that pick off is going to be a very big thing for Fuel as they bring it back to a tie in terms of player numbers. We also see one ultimate up on that Viper there. Probably going to save it. So they are going to use one. We see a teleport and a blind go out as Rhetoric starts to plant. Smokes do go out on both sides. Spike goes down.
2 players around flank here for the side of Panther. Now, you know, there's 2 stuck on site. This Arc here with the Odin can find a lot of value. This map is so good for the Odin as there's a lot of spammable walls. A lot of success so far, you know, in history. This matchup are with the Odin, as Etherin gonna get stuck inside of their own Viper's pit, stuck on their own player. The Prowler comes out, does end up marking M6. Really, Viper pit is so beautiful for this post plant. It means Fuel has so much room to play around with. Uber gonna swing in though. They can find Kugo, then the pit's going to fall. It does look like that's exactly what's going to happen, and they just walk aggressively in through here, but Rhetoric left alive. It's a 1 versus 1, and because of the spike going up, Fuel able to clutch that one out. It was a dangerous round. I mean, you definitely were not happy with that. They just kind of walked into your Viper's pit, picked off 3 of you. Thankfully, Rhetoric was there as the pit dissipated, and they're not ready for that, and they are going to fall as the spike kicks down.
We saw Fuel, they got a little bit too comfortable. That Viper's Pit is a huge piece in the match here. Getting that ability to hold down an area and with virtually no downsides.
Buys so much time, right? It means Panther just couldn't push aggressively, which meant they ran out of time on that spike. Spike explosion. Iron Player going to find that pick with the operator now in their hands, as A plays can be a lot harder for Fuel as you're now swinging into an operator from your chamber. Rhetoric going to look for a drone out, try to clear anyone, but it's not going to find any information. Not show that it actually clears you. We're going to swing out. That's as well has contact here. Does find 2.
Spike down mid.
There, and just a flawless here for the side of Panther. Again, seems like a really, telltale sign of Panther. They just never get bogged down after a loss. As soon as they lose one round, they just wipe it off and they go next, and they just win their next round very cleanly. Feels like it's very rare that Fuel's able to get multiple rounds in a row. Kind of get these one-off rounds here and there. Slow here for Nagi. Doesn't find anything as the operator swings aggressive. That finds a beautiful pick as the drone just wasn't able to clear that out in time. Now, Fuel again, they're kind of on the back foot here. 4-2, side of the Panther. As Arc's going to look for a haunt aggressively here, just try to find as much info as possible. Gets broken, then they know there's someone here.
Yeah. Hopefully Fuel can bring back their little streak from the second half. That haunt immediately gets taken out. The bunch of recon bolts go out. A shock dart goes out. It does not find a tag on Iron Player, who's holding that corner closely with the operator. The baits go out, and it does successfully bait.
Shot about 3 business days late there. Iron Player not going to find that on that jump. Rhetoric, though, going to get tagged down to 1 HP as Low Ethering going to fall as well, but did end up picking off the fade. As it feels like people are walking into a crossfire. You find one. The Kugo left alone here. Going to get spammed through that box with the Odin. It's a 3 versus 2 here for the side of Panther in the lead. As you see both Nagi and M6 walking into B uncontested. They don't have a spike. M6 can get them from the shadows. Needs to find some sort of orb around the map. We're going to pick. They can get this. They can TP to the spike and then play this exactly what they're going to be doing. So Fuel, they have a bit of an advantage here. TP out, pick up the spike, cancel it. On the right back, plant down B. A classic play you see a lot, but it's beautiful here. As Nagi can find this contact here. Heaven is going to fall. Yoru going to fall now. Nagi is going to have an Odin. See how much usage he has with this gun. As it's one that you have to know angles with. You have to know wallbang spots, but it's now a 2 versus 2 as Panther forced to do a retake with only a Omen and a Viper. Omen thinking about using that ultimate, thinking about maybe TPing into Heaven, trying to find some sort of information. Nagi as well has that ultimate to try to get as much value here. I feel they don't want to lose this round, but M6 is going to fall to 1 versus 1. Spike. Nagi has a beautiful angle here. Gets the ult down and gets the headshot with the Odin. A thrifty here for Fuel. Off of a beautiful play from Nagi and M6, who really started to wake up. They're kind of the star players of this team so far we've seen. Usually up towards the top of the scoreboard. Rest of the players kind of more supportive. These two really where you're going to find your frag out. So you need to see these players start to heat up, start to warm up, and they seem to be pretty happy with that win. I mean, beautifully played there. Great usage of the an ult, understanding that the only way to win that round was to get an orb. I feel like Panther should have known that, though. They should have been defending those orbs, but they just didn't. They didn't think about the possibility that they could just play for, plant here. They thought they were just hard saving. Fuel not aware of what saving is. They're just going to keep trying to take those wins.
Yeah, Panther was definitely all over the place at the very start of that match, and I think they were a little bit panicked after the initial push as they were on the wrong side of the map. We did see Fuel, they got into B just without any hassle, and then also got the ult off for free.
There's 2 picks already before the round basically even started, as both the KO and the Waylay going to fall to the spam of Panther. So they did pick off their own fades. Now it's a 3 versus 4 here for the side of Panther. They are Fuel just kind of stuck in spawn. Might be just playing for a save here, as they don't really have any ability to fight here, and they need to make sure that they're Econ is as good as possible as they're down about 2k. They're slow rotating through T-spawn here, as you see both Rhetoric and M6 joining up together. Viper wall is going to go down soon here for the side of Kugo, so mid not going to be as clear as able to cross. Fuel just playing extremely slow. It does feel like it's going to be a save because it feels like you're running out of time. There's 30 seconds left. I don't think they can really make any sort of exec
30
here
seconds left.
unless they go now, but they're walking into the waiting arms of the Yoru of Panther here. Just going to be able to stop this B play. 22 seconds left. The smokes come in, and now Panther, they know that it has to be a B play, and there's already 2 players rotating over. The Yoru is going to lose that first swing. The plant is going to come down for Rhetoric, sitting inside of that Viper orb. As Kugo has a flank here, gonna into this, finds Omen. A little bit of a weird play there, but is going to find it, is going to fall to Uber. Never mind, Kugo finding that spam kill. As Fuel played this one slow, it's now a 1 versus 2, but it's a Chamber left alive with an Operator and a Vandal. Kugo 30 HP to the plant, post plant. They can play this one slow. They're both just gonna play inside of this cubby. Make sure that the Chamber has to swing into them. Is not going to clear this. Does find the first pick, but M6 is there with the trade, and Fuel tie this up 4-4. I thought they were playing a little too slow, but they had that one calculated. With winning that duel on the Yoru, making sure that the Yoru just could not hold down that B side alone, and they got the plant down, and they had a beautiful post plant there with Kugo with a great flank. Almost a bit of a misplay here as they swing in front of the Omen, but ends up winning this, as well as winning this fight on the player in window there is so crucial.
Absolutely. We saw in that final moment there in that plant, having that double angle was also very crucial. It meant that Chamber couldn't do anything about that. He had to swing into both of them just by the angles alone here. You know, I'm surprised it went the way it did. It was a very rough start, 2 picks right off the bat, and a save would have been very likely, but they managed to come back, and it's like that's already up 4-4.
And it feels like these teams are quite evenly matched, especially on these early rounds, as they're trading here and there. But that's an arc just firing right back again. It feels like Panther never get bogged down. They're instantly ready just to swing out aggressively. It's Kugo left alive with the only one who's going to be able to get a trade. As 4 players of Panther, 4 players of Fuel are already going to fall. Kugo left alone here, but gets swung onto Iron Player. Fuel, just kind of, those are rounds you just kind of have to take, right? You don't think about those rounds. Those are just over before they really even start. Picks here for the side of Panther are better. And now Fuel, they're back. You know, they're down again 5-4. But the econ is not great.
No, absolutely not. We do see a lot of Vandals on that side of Panther, but unfortunately Fuel, I think they just have 1 Vandal. I saw a Sheriff in there.
Weird vibe.
Yeah,
With some
very.
ultimates, though. You have this Viper's Pit for maybe a post plant. You have this Hunter's Fury as well here for Rhetoric, so the value is possible. The Haunt is going to get broken, but it scans little M6 before that. Means now there's at least a knowledge of Panther, 1 player being here. Etherin going to win that with the Sheriff. Beautiful trade there to be able to pick up the gun for themselves, as Uber is going to pick off Noggy, so it's a 1-for-1 trade on both duelists. Now we'll kind of have to slow this one down. They're playing towards mid, 3 here on mid as M6 solo lurking.
Yeah, and they do come down this mid section with the plant. We do see that Chamber on the flank there. Does manage to get 2 picks off, but then gets picked by Kugo. A very dangerous flank there. Bring it down to a 3v2.
Fuel can get this plant. They can take this one, though, as they do have that Viper's Pit here. They just have to find somewhere to go. It seems like they want to make... They're going to have to somehow get to B, but they're going to have to walk through the Viper of Panther here to do so. A looks impossible to take. Obviously, we have more information than they do, but it seems like they've understood the same. But they have to double swing here. Uber going to find 1. Now it's just Kugo left alone with 30 seconds remaining as Uber can just play this one slow. It doesn't seem like Kugo really have much answer, and it feels like Kugo just has to play to save instead to keep this gun to try to get the economy here instead. But that's off as he's trying to rotate towards A through Link.
Really unfortunate for Fuel when they realize, you know, there's only 1 person left, or Panther realizes there's only 1 person left alive. They just kind of have to let them make their move, and unfortunately that move was to get peeked.
Yeah, just realized that B was a bit of a problem because the Viper got the pick, so tries to go through A Link, but instead there's 2 players over towards A. A beautiful flank there for Iron Player is going to find so much value for Fuel, as well as, you know, they're not going to swing correctly onto Huber there. Had a double swing, but it's hard to know that. Obviously we have more information than they do. Now they're going to be playing quick here up in B main, but Iron Player already finds 2 as already at a deficit. Util used. Iron Player finds a third, does finally get traded out. Hugo left with 19 HP. The collaterals from this operator were lethal here on their B play. I mean, Fuel tried to play quick B play, but it seems like Panther read them beautifully as they already had 4 over towards here. Now it's 2 versus 4 because of such a low HP on your Viper, and there's a judge in this corner.
That is being inspected meticulously. He's waiting just around that corner. I imagine he'll get at least a pick off, as we don't see any intel really, unless that KO swings and does get taken
Fuel
out.
doesn't know that there's going to be a player here. Ethrin has to be the one to swing, as he's the only one who has the health to do so, but he's going to walk right into the waiting arms of the judge, who swings right at the same time. Huber going to pick off Kugo in the Viper duel, and Fuel falling 7-4 right now. They're at a deficit. Can they bring us to 8-5 or 7-5 again like last round?
Hopefully. I mean, they did have that winning streak in that first match. Hopefully they can bring that sort of adrenaline back and, keep it up. They kind of realized a certain strategy that they needed, that aggression in that first map in the second half. And hopefully they realize that. We do have a timeout, actually.
Our first timeout called for the entire series so far is Fuel maybe going to try to find some sort of set play. I mean, the last couple plays they made have just been stopped by the side of Panther, so we'll see if they can find the answer here during this timeout, right? If their IGL can end up cooking up something strong here as their attack seems to be struggling. They have to find the answer. They have to dig deep into their playbook.
Absolutely. I hope that they look into what they did in that first round, especially after the swap, and they realize that the speed and the aggression is what really threw off the Panthers, especially, if there's only one person on the site, as long as there's no recon bolt that goes out, then they just have the ability to take the site for free and get the plant down.
I think here, though, they might play a little bit slower, as you did see, right? Last time they played fast, there were 4 players of Panther waiting for them on that B site, but it does seem to maybe be a play more of a split. You see 3-2, 3-1, or 2-1-2, but it looks like maybe it's actually mid instead with just 2 lurks. We'll see what Fuel ends up figuring out as this timeout has been invested, so they can talk to their team. They maybe chill out the vibes a little bit, right? Because you do have to start to kind of mount a little bit of a comeback. It's not insurmountable, right? It's just a 3-round lead to the side of Panther. Goes to a 4th, it can be hard, as that's going to be the one with the operator here picking it out. Rary does find that trade.
Just like that. Down to a 4v3 as Iron Player gets the pick off on Kugo with that ultimate. Chamber being the sort of fragger operator here. Going in.
There's 3 operators on the map right now for the side of Panther.
Yeah.
They have purchased 3 operators this round. Does Fuel know about the 3rd operator is the real question, though. Do they expect the 3rd operator? I mean, they actually ran this the other day on Bind. They almost had a win, and then they did a Quadra operator comp, as Arc is going to find that with Guardian. M6 actually going to find that with the Guardian onto Arc. Now it's a 3 versus 3. 2 of the players have operators, but I imagine Iron Player also has a Vandal there, as well as the ultimate. So not going to be an impossible retake here. M6 has the Odin, so going to be trying to make a spam play, trying to stop this retake here from the side of Panther, as his Dimensional Drift going to come out here. The Yordu finding a little bit of info, so he takes this out as M6 none the wiser. Tries to make a TP play as Iron Player picks off another. Left up to Rhetoric to clutch this one out. Finds 1, finds 2, finds 3 and 4 in the round for Rhetoric. A beautiful clutch. And Fuel, the energy's just back all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, after a clutch like that 1, 2, 3 bang just like that for Rhetoric, it was that was fantastic. Hopefully, this sort of burst of momentum can get them into another snowball like they did in that first match and give them a fighting chance for the deciding round.
I feel like there may have been a little bit of panic there, though, for Fuel. I mean, obviously you win this because Rhetoric finds 4 in the round, but M6, a little bit overheat, tries to look for a TP play after the Yoru swings out. Does not find much value there, as clutch comes out for Rhetoric. They're going to take us right back 7-5. It's the same as last map. Let's see if Fuel can do a little bit better on their defense side here. As last time, they got the 5 on defense. This time they got the 5 on attack. See if they can make this look like a bit more of a defense-sided map as the main team ended up making it look last week. See, as he's already up on pistol yet again with Nagi finding one with the Sheriff. Going aggressive. I mean, you don't often see Sheriff buys on pistols anymore, but Nagi finding value, already finding 2 picks, and Fuel looking to take their 3rd pistol of the series. 2nd on this map.
And that value is going to be crucial because once again, right, that pistol round is going to be great for economy and great for the rest of the round here as Fuel goes onto the defending side here.
M6 waiting this timing, but does not find the shots, unfortunately, which means 2 trades out for the side of Panther. 3 versus 3. Now, Rhetoric on site swings out. Ethrin, though, holding deep in his cubby, finds 1, swings back, but the headshot through the wall. 2 versus 2, but Rhetoric finds 1 with the shock dart. Scan gonna come out, not find anyone, which means they know where that must be playing, has to be hiding in some sort of cubby.
30 seconds left.
Spike is down, and instead of picking it up, just scared to swing out to pick it up. Fuel not covering that. Sitting inside of the smoke. Rhetoric backing up. They're just playing this time. 15 seconds left. That's going to look for some sort of picks. 13 seconds and counting. They have to do something here. Rhetoric jump spots. Sees that's there. Spike picked up, but it's too late. Tries to pick it through the wall.
Far away.
But does not find it. Is just not going to have the time. Fuel taking their 3rd pistol and the first time that a team has taken 2 pistols on one map. That one's a little bit of jokes for sure. Trying to jump through the wall to pick up the spike. Not going to be able to find it. As, again, I think we're back to 6-7.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We already know we're hitting the emote in the room. As, oh, you're back. You're on it now. Let's go. No, I mean, we'll see as Fuel looking to, sort of snowball this pistol. So far from pistols, we've not really been seeing much snowball as the Thrifties are almost always won by the other team.
Yep.
We'll see if Fuel win their force buy here as it was like just an unfortunate jump there for that's for sure. I mean, it looked like it could have been dangerous for Fuel after, the flank from M6 did not end up going as planned.
Yeah. And we do see the fruits of the pistol round here as we see the Marshall come out with the light shields there.
Marshall's so dangerous on these versus these Ika rounds, right? Because you don't have the armor, which means a body shot is a one shot. The light armor it isn't, because you're just at 0 armor. Usually you're gonna be running basically full saves here. It's 5 classics. Rhetoric finding 2 here with the Guardian as well as M6 finding 2. Looking for the no scope on the last play. Is not gonna find it, but does find the scope. 3 kills, and it's a flawless for Fuel. They're gonna be able to finally win a force buy. Take us to even 7-7 again. See if they can maybe win a bonus, because if you can win this bonus, the game could really start to snowball in your favor, which is what Fuel needs. They need these rounds to start going their way.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can win the next round or 2, and they have that absolute economy average out on Panther, then that's going to be great. We do see another timeout
from Panther. Yeah, I mean, I believe they've fallen 4 rounds in a row now, right? As you saw, fall on the last 2 rounds on attack or on defense, and then falling these first 2 rounds. So trying to find if they can figure out something here for their full buy round, right? Making sure not to let Fuel get a bonus on them, as that last round was over pretty much instantly, right?
Yeah.
M6 not too discouraged after a bit of a rough play on that pistol round. Ends up just coming right out swinging with that scout, Marshall, and picks off 3.
Yeah. Yeah. He had some great picks. I mean, the quick scopes. He tried to get the no scope in, but he didn't quite find it. But it's a good time for Fuel. Hopefully, Panther. Hopefully they don't find the strategy they need.
That Marshall not going to have as much value though on this round, as they're going to be full armor here for the side of Panther, which means you won't have that one shot even on a headshot, right? They'll still be left alive. We'll see if they can find the answer, or if M6 drops that gun and tries to play something else, as it does seem to be sticking with the Marshall, just trying to find as much value. I mean, you can still find some sort of value, but it won't be the one shots, right? Those tags in there. Okay, comes out onto Arc, walked in smoke. They actually have light shields, which means a headshot will kill here for the Marshall. The rest of players, M6 going to fall on this flank. Here's Iron Player. Finds a beautiful timing there, and already able to walk in Rhetoric as well. Walking into the crosshairs of Iron Player. Going to have to walk back. Has that adaptive shield, so we'll be able to regen that. right back, but it's just going to fall as well as that's getting the pick onto Kugo, and all of a sudden, just like last round where it was over before it started for Fuel, it seems like this round Panther is completely taken over.
Absolutely. It seems like they kind of found a new strategy here. I'm not quite sure what it was, but maybe having that timeout for Fuel, they kind of lost some of their motivation just a little bit.
Momentum for sure, right? It's a bit of a momentum stopper when those timeouts happen, especially when you're starting to heat up, when you're playing very well, right? You have a fantastic round. And timeout can kind of just break everything. Flawless here now for the side of Panther is going to be taking the lead yet again, 8-7, as Fuel, they have to start to find some sort of rounds in a row. Now it'll be a full buy versus full buy here, so we'll see how each team ends up doing on the gun rounds. They usually have ended up favoring Panther so far in this series in both Haven and this map. Fuel, they want to take us to bind.
Absolutely. And we've seen, especially on that first map, that these rounds tonight have been very, very gunplay focused. Who can click who first. And, now that we have the full buy on either side, it's looking a little bit more risky for Fuel as we go into the defensive side of things. 8-7. We see a very, very split up team comp from Panther here, actually. They are very widely spread.
Spread thin, but they're going to try to find these picks. Their plan is to find, they get one kill, then they know that site is a little bit weaker, then they can all kind of rotate over. You see 2 over towards B, 2 mid, and then the Chamber going to be solo lurking here on A, as all of Fuel pretty much corralled in mid. 3 players kind of holding there, as let's see M6 holding A, trying to find this cross. Nagi going to find that with the operator. M6 has a timing here, maybe on Iron Player, who's going to play this one slow, swings out. They both swing together, but M6 finds the better. Two trades over to Fuel. 3-5 here in this round. Battery, those shock darts spamming through the wall here and there, trying to find any sort of tags, as all of Panther, they're going to be rotating right into the waiting arms of Nagi.
And that's a great play from Fuel, actually, because they had a ton of utility, right? Both the Viper Wall and the Omen Smoke pushing back Panther here as they go back, and they just get dumped with utility, stuck in a very bad spot as they try to make their rotate down to 2 people. That fade is dangerously low.
They make the rotate, but M6 is here now, and they're none the wiser. As they have to swing out, find one, find the other. 3 of him in this round, and really having a lights out so far on this defense. As starting to bring Fuel again, they're back even 8-8. But it feels like at this rate, Fuel, they keep losing that one, then winning it back. They need to find these 2 rounds in a row, start to win, start to climb some sort of comeback here. As again, it's going to be full buy versus full buy, as both teams are going to have good economy here. We'll see what each team can end up finding out, what the plan's going to be, as it seems to be 3 players over towards A for Panther here. They're going to play a 3-2 split. Viper actually going to walk back, just kind of hiding around mid. Spike is down in A lobby, though. What value here, though, is just Spike in the Viper's hand, and Uber going to be the first one to swing out. At your Spike, you got to be a little bit careful here for the side of Panther, as the Yoru is going to pick off Nagi on B, which means B is now a little bit weaker here for Fuel, and they understand that M6, though, looking for maybe a bit of a TP play, try to find any sort of info. Decides against it. They don't want to give up their positioning here on A, as there is a chamber right there.
We see KO holding that very long peek right down middle. The Omen's around the corner. Kind of a slower paced match here as we saw that initial take. But
3 players over to A. It's going to be Rhetoric and M6 left to take this one. M6 on this box, taking this high peek. Still thinking about maybe taking that TP out. But as the smoke comes in, they now have a timing, finds one, and is just going to TP out, take this swing, look for a paranoia play, as not going to win that trade. Arc finds 2 there. A bit of an overheat again. I mean, a little bit of panic, right?
30 seconds.
Waited a little bit longer on that box, find another pick maybe, or maybe just play a little bit slower on that repeat with that paranoia. Instead, now 2 versus 4 for Panther, as the spike is going to go down. It really feels like these rounds are over before the util for either team can really be used. It feels like you haven't found much value out of the KO util, as the rounds are just over off of these raw gun peaks. They're not flooding out util to flood out these sites, flood out these areas. They're just aiming.
yeah. Speaking of util, the fade ult came out and it saw nobody again. That that unfortunate waste of utility. Although speaking of which, you see some blinds for the Paranoia does tag him, and he's out by the operator
They're
there.
in a 1v4. Just going to run away as the spike is set to detonate. Just try to find as much trades as possible. Swinging out here, but is going to run into the waiting arms of an operator here for Yoru, but instead, he's going to die to the spike. Fuel again, down 9-8 here.
It's looking a little bit rough. They had a snowball going for a little bit, right? They managed to take back those 3 rounds, but it's come to a little bit of a halt after
Feels like
that
on these buy
timeout.
rounds is really where Fuel starts to struggle, right?
Definitely.
When the guns are even, when they're fighting gun versus gun, it's where they start to struggle. M6 could have found more value here on this box peak. Atherin just getting flushed out by these flashes, forced to sit in that corner, and then gets swung by an operator. There's now 2 operators here, I believe, for the side of Panther. Maybe they just gave Iron Player the op. Atherin going to swing out mid. Has to be careful in that window as there's an operator there, but there is the Viper wall. Jump spot here for the Yoru as Nagi actually was not going to get noticed. Who is going to find that pick, opening up the map a little bit, but she needs to make sure not to overheat. Has to back out here, play a little bit careful. We're just going to slow this down.
And we see they're sort of Panthers are kind of testing the waters here for A, but they do actually want to pull back a little bit, seemingly trying to take mid as we see the peaks in here into mid. And it's going to be a really slow push here, as they might decide to go into A anyways, just trying to take it from a different angle. Gerber does take out Hugo there.
Trying to get a crouch swing there, but instead, Panther ready for that. Head lined up with the head. Etherin now to be, kind of solo here towards mid, as there's going to be 2 players of Panther walking up. It seems to be a B play. Smokes come out. They do smoke out Etherin. Going to look for maybe a flash play, but it's just trying to buy time. Pretty much swing. The knife is destroyed. Spams come out. The molly comes out. It's just trying to distract from the fact that Rhetoric is right here around the corner, but he's going to get picked off by Uber. Another flash used, but it doesn't find much as 4 players of Panther are going to be able to meet up on B site here. The plant is going to go down as M6 for some sort of flank here with Etherin, as well as Nagi rotating through B main. So they have a little bit of pincer play here for Fuel. Etherin finds that first pick. Now it's even 3 versus 3.
Having that Viper get taken out right at the start for Fuel on defense is so rough for them.
One enemy
And
remaining.
Etherin making sure to cover this swing here, as Arc, though, is behind the smoke, but M6 gets off just in time after getting a half. Kicks off Arc, who runs through the smoke. A beautiful clutch there from the side of Fuel, who are going to be able to bring us back 9-9 again.
And hopefully, again, they can lead this into momentum. Hopefully they start to realize that these buy rounds are all about the gunfights,
Rough.
and that they need to take their angles maybe a little more closely, considering Corrode is a little bit more defender sided, having those very close angles, having that CQB type gameplay.
This round was definitely a lot better from Fuel, though, because they slowed it down, right? They got that first pick off Nagi because, the Yoru ends up missing the jump spot. Not find Nagi in time. Now, there is going to be 1 player without a gun here. It's going to be one of Panther's members. So, not going to be a full buy across the board here, so we'll see if they can end up making some value happen. I believe it was a ghost in the inventory, as they had about 1,000 credits. Was not very, economically stable there. Nagi has the operator who picked up from the side of Panther from that Yoru. Now going to look for something, as Dimensional Drift is used aggressively just to push into A here. Shorty out for Nagi. He's kind of reading this. He knows that there's some sort of play. There is a flank here for the side of Panther. They around the corner, try to stop Yoru here, but he's just going to get spammed out. Iron Player does find 1, but 2 trades for Fuel, as well as M6 finding a 3rd.
Feels like that's already down to a 1v4 as Kugo takes out that. But does take out 1 more and then gets traded out by M6. M6 doing very well.
M6, the king of the triples, really. He's been
Absolutely,
finding multiple
absolutely.
triple kills here and there. I mean, 3 or 4 rounds so far on this half alone with triples. So starting to really start to feel it as this play. It just M6 and Kugo just stopped this A play pretty much single-handedly. Battery there to stop the swing. As another timeout going to be used here for the Panther. Their last timeout, as Fuel feels like they're starting to get their footing again, right? It's now 2 rounds in a row that they ended up winning here. We'll see if they can keep this one going.
As we see a second timeout come from the Panthers, I'm curious to see what the thought process for them in this timeout is. Like,
Feels like it's starting to slip, right?
what do you think that they need to focus on to
I
get
think
this
they
win?
just need to slow it down. They're trying to play these rounds very quick, play these gun rounds very fast. Their buy is going to be very weird here, though. So we'll see if they can, maybe find anything in this round, as they're going to have to start to find something. As once Fuel goes up to 11, then it becomes really dangerous, right? Because you're 2 rounds away from winning. You're 1 round away from forcing overtime at the very least, right? And Panther, they want to close this one out 2-0. You can feel it kind of how they're playing. But because of that, they're starting to overheat. They're starting to play a little bit too fast. We'll see what they ended up calming in this timeout. Last time a timeout happened, they completely ran over Fuel in the following round. Let's see if they can keep that up.
We'll see. I'm curious to see if we'll see any major switch ups. We do see the 3-2
You
push
want to
on
play?
Bucky,
Let's
and you
play.
see a Bucky come out as well on a high round too. See Chamber ult come out, which is
That's
absolutely
weird.
dangerous on that main long.
I have an operator here. Bucky does find one on M6, which means now I'll be able to pick up a gun here, just trying to get those early picks. As now that they know that A mid kind of a little bit weak here, they're going to swing through mid. 3 players walking together as it's just Kugo left alone in this window. Iron player walking aggressive, trying to find some sort of lurk play, some sort of rotation. Kugo going to be stuck here in this window as 3 players of Panther. We hear the smoke comes out from their Omen, which means they're going to be able to walk through here. It's just Rhetoric. Back tight, trying to find something here, but there's 3 players of Panther as well as the Viper's Pit coming out.
And with that ultimate, that's going to be really rough for Fuel to be able to take this back, to turn that around. And this Viper is providing so much for Panthers here, as we did see they use the wall to get that push into the back site of main. There, we actually see Iron Player take out one, and Turbo and the Euro managed to finish off that round.
Yeah, Panther, again, they're coming out of those timeouts with those plans, right? They play it exactly. They find that one pick on A, but instead of going towards A, they say, no, we're just going to rotate through B as the strong members. We're going to play towards B. We're going to play for our post plant with the Viper's Pit. They find enough. Rhetoric just kind of left alone in this Viper's Pit as the rest of their team falls. As another timeout's going to be called. Now Fuel trying to find something. Because, again, they're kind of just at a deficit, right? He feels like they're just, after that one round, they're not sure what the answer is.
And I think they're really going to be taking their time in this second timeout to really make sure that they figure out what they absolutely need for these final couple rounds.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what they need here for sure. As I think, again, it's going to be a little bit of a slowdown, right? They kind of fell over because of that aggressive swing with the Bucky. It feels like the players are starting to get a little bit overheated a little bit. They just need to take this calm down time, right? Make sure that they're all level-headed. They come in with a plan into this round, as they're going to be in a little bit of dire straits here. But they want to keep themselves in this series, and they have to do so here, as they have to, at the very least, take us to overtime. Have a chance. They need 12 at the very least. They want 13. We'll see if people can find the answer here, as they're going to be in defense. It's a 3-2 split here for Panther on attack, as 2 members of Fuel are going to be stacked on A.
I imagine that tensions are going to be very high for the side of Fuel, considering they're only those 3 points away. They could be put into the hot seat depending on how this round goes. That's going to be really bad for their positioning in the playoffs.
Hugo going to fall here in B, which means now Panther has a free site. They just can easily exec this, as now Fuel has to play a retake here. They have to play. They don't have the Viper's Pit for the side of Panther, but the retake is still not easy. Augie finding that first pick with the operator is going to be a good start here. It does have that double dash, has the ability to take that gun just to pick a little bit close quarters action. As out, Etherin finds one in this window. Does not find the second, as Arc. He swung out aggressively by Noggy, and now it's a 2 versus 3 here for Fuel. Feels like pause may have played in their favor, but now it's a 1 versus 1. Uber looking for the clutch. That is just M6. He doesn't lose those, but does he have time? He does indeed.
He gets that defuse off. A
2 seconds.
beautiful clutch from M6. He's doing fantastic tonight, especially in these sort of clutch moments.
Really started to find his footing these rounds. He's seen some rounds where he starts to maybe overheat a little bit, but
Yeah.
he can kind of bounce back from those very calmly. Hasn't been tilting over those rounds and just able to come right back in and bring Fuel 11-10. They want this next round bad.
As we go into that round 22, we see
It's a long
5
one.
ultimates across the board, 4 in Fuel's favor. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Having only those 2 last rounds, having the ability to push them into your favor with those ultimates is going to be absolutely crucial.
They can stop a site with this Viper's Pit for sure. They can do a lot of things here for Fuel as Ren going to be stuck in mid yet again, and it feels like it's a quick B play. Iron Player going to find a beautiful flank onto Kugo. And now Fuel, they're in a little bit of trouble. They have to do another magical retake here, but there is a chamber holding mid. Means Nagi and Reddery are not going to be able to swing in as easily, especially after walking through this Viper wall. Iron Player trying to find as much value here, but he's going to get double swung as Nagi none the wiser. Reddery does find 1, but M6 gets traded in the meantime as the Yoru finds 2, and now it's a 1 versus 4. Reddery's done it before. He's not going to be able to do it again. There's a beautiful crossfire is set up there for the side of Panther. 11-11. It feels like we're going overtime.
Absolutely.
With how these rounds have been going, unless one team finds 2 in a row, it just feels like we're set up for that. But Fuel's buy is rough this round.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I mean, after seeing what happened on the main team as well, this back and forth is absolutely going to see overtime unless we see a little bit more momentum come out from the third round. We do see a very interesting buy with the 2 Buckies, Guardian in a classic.
You have 4 ults here for Fuel, but still, you're at such a gun disadvantage. If you don't find one of these early trades, pick up one of the weapons from the side of Panther, it feels like you could be in trouble. You'll be able to take these sites a little bit easier with this KO ult, but Iron Player are going to pick off little M6, which means now you don't have many smokes. The only thing you have is that Viper orb and that Viper wall. The wall is set, kind of set on B. It can't really move. As again, it feels like Panther kind of located the weak site. That's going to pick off Ethrin. Kugo left on B here with the Bucky. Swings out, finds 1. He's going to have to molly here. Has to play far back, and that's really not what you want to do when you have a Bucky. Huber going to swing off Kugo. Kugo, Iron Player finds 3 in the round, and it's 12-11 at Fuel. They're on the back foot. They're on death's door here. They want to keep their playoff hope, or their playoff run alive. They want to keep themselves in this series. They have to win this round.
Absolutely. They are into the hot seat, and it's looking a little bit rough. I mean, they need to get those 2 extra points to go further. And saw a quick glimpse at the standings.
And reminder, I mean, winner of this, goes into fighting a winner of Miami Uni Redbird, and the loser is out. Single elimination bracket. So, you really want to win this if you're Fuel. You don't want to squander your chance. A possible comeback here. I mean, Bind could always go in your favor, especially if you win this, but you have to bring us to overtime. 11, it is gun versus gun round. Every player has a full buy. Checking to make sure that's not a fake clone here. As Nagi finding that first pick, a crucial pick onto the Yoru. He's going to get flooded out, but Kugo as well finding Iron Player, and it feels like they're waking up, coming alive, but that stops that in the tracks.
Hopefully we see those ultimates come out, especially with the Waylay and the KO ultimate there.
Yeah, ultimates haven't been really used here for the side of Fuel. You have this Waylay ult's been used here and there, but the KO ult really hasn't found too much value. Haven't found much value out of the Sova ult either. Feels like this game has just been guns. It feels like util and ultimates just are not being used as the 3 versus 4, but they still have to, walk into a site here for Panther. They're trying to find some sort of pick on mid. The knife comes out, but it doesn't find anyone, as they have to be careful as there's an operator here. Ethrin can't
30
keep jumps
seconds
keeping
left.
this. Might walk into danger.
Only 25 seconds
They're going
left
to walk
on the
towards
clock.
A. They've decided A is the play, but they're looking for a flank pick here for that, so they can maybe join with you. TP has those smokes. Huber coming out as well as their fade, but they're walking to the waiting arms of Nagi and M6. He's going to find 1. not find the trade onto Uber though, but 8 seconds left. Fuel just has to stop this plant. Augie not going to find it in time as the spike comes down. It's 2 versus 2 now. The Hunter's Fury is used by Rhetoric. Does not find tags. Are needed though as Etherin swings here into A. Trying to find some way in. Uber has this, watching this angle. Etherin winning it though, crucial gun win there. A 1 left as the Flash is going to catch that and Fuel take us to overtime in a scrappy round.
Yeah, it was looking a little bit rough for a little while there, but I mean, those plays were absolutely fantastic. No ultimates quite yet, but some great swings, great picks, you know, knowing when to swing, especially like earlier on. They were getting a little overconfident in their swing, but we saw right then and there that they knew exactly when. They got great timing.
Could have been really scary, especially after that spike goes down. That's 2 versus 2. They find that spam kill onto Nagi, who's just not able to stop the plant in time, despite the fact that there's 5 seconds remaining. Got a single tag, stops that plant for a second, then it could be the round over to Fuel, not even having to win those gun rounds, but instead Etherin had to, you know, find the answer. I've been having the greatest map so far, but you can find those crucial picks. That's all that matters. Operator's likely not going to be on the table here as you don't have shields options, so it's going to be mostly guns. It's going to be mostly rifles here. Vandals and Phantoms. Fuel on attack to start us off on overtime.
See a lot of Vandals come out with the Viper wall going through main. Iron Player does take out low Etherin right at the start, giving them a little bit of advantage on Fuel here as they go for that A push. Rhetoric and M6 take out Arc and Euro.
Now 3 versus 4, and they're going to be able to get onto this A site. Plant down. The orb is going to come out for Kugo as Uber.
Spike planted.
In through A-Link, as well as Iron Player, both going to try to find some sort of pick as their Omen is just a little bit too far behind, has to play such a slow flank. Fuel has the advantage. M6 finds one, does get traded out, but its numbers are still in Fuel's favor. It's a 2 versus 3, as they know where the chamber is. Rhetoric going to be taking this close angle here. He's going to get out though. Now winnable, but Kugo stops it in its tracks. And now it's 1 versus 2 as that is looping around. Too short, but does not find anything. Fuel taking themselves to map point. They have to win defense here. It's kind of where they've been, you know, where they've been shining more so, right? They found more rounds on defense than attack. They broke through the attack. Let's see if they can break through. If they can stop Panther's attack, Panther's going to be able to run them over like some of these rounds have gone in the past.
Yeah, especially on a map like a road that is a little more defender-sided. Having that Viper and the Sova are so great.
Because timeouts reset during overtime, we're going to be seeing another timeout here for Panther. 5 timeouts used so far on this map alone. It seems like both teams have been trying. Things aren't getting put to their team enough, right? They need to find these specific plays. But again, we've seen so much success out of these timeouts for both teams. Feels like every time Panthers call a timeout, they flawless the immediate next round. Can Fuel stop that this time, or is Panther going to get yet another round off of this timeout?
I don't know. We'll have to see. 15 seconds left on that timeout again from Panther. They realize that they are in the hot seat now. You know, they lost their little bit of streak that they had. And 12-13. Mitchell needs one more point, and Panther is out.
Not out. We go to
Sorry,
bind.
Sorry, into the
got map
decider.
3. Fuel, just they want to take us to map 3 because they can come in with a little bit of momentum. I feel like they can really start to take over bind, which is just a map that swings can happen so often, and it is a map that favors gunplay. You know, you'll see some util here and there, but again, it's mostly about gun usage, as well as Etherin to be able to get onto his comfort character, onto his Sky. But they have to take this round. They have to break through the attack of Panther. They have to defend here in order to take us there. And they're going to start this out as it's going to be mostly towards A and mid. B is completely open for Fuel.
Yeah, we see literally nobody on that B site. We see that Viper wall holding along the corners of it as we do see the Waylay rotate out into B.
Into 4 players of Panther who have just decided B is where they're going to play. Fuel, a bit of an off read here as it feels like Panther have really favored towards this B side, especially when they're trying to, you know, these timeouts, but it feels like they've slowed them down a little bit. The smoke comes out. They're playing very slow through these Viper smokes. They're playing with their time, but it means Fuel has a little bit of time to rotate. There are 2 players towards mid. If Iron Player can find a trade here, which looks like he's finally going to swing aggressively, but he's walking into Kugo. He's just going to play, try to find some sort of pick here, but nothing really going to come of it as the Viper wall finally falls.
30 seconds
Now
left.
Panther has a little bit of an opening, but because of the shot coming out, Iron Player kind of knows that Kugo's here. Or Kugo, rather, knows Iron Player's there, is ready for that shot. Now the chamber falls, and their Fuel has an advantage here as they're going to be rotating through mid and trying to work A. They have to be careful of Kugo, and they out. Beautiful. 10
Down-
seconds.
Yeah, down to a 4v4. That Viper
Time.
wall was absolutely brutal. As they try to rotate onto A,
They find it.
they managed to get the plant
Spike
down with
planted.
2 seconds left on the clock.
Finds the trade with the operator. Etherin not going to find that onto the Yoru. It's a 2 versus 3 here in favor of Panther, as 6 has to find something again. Panther feels like they would have ran out of time there, but now there is a Yoru ultimate used to slow for Nagi. Not going to find anything. Art going to find M6. Uber finding Nagi, and Fuel squandering away their round. Really, it felt like it was all in their hand. The Viper wall bought so much time.
Yep.
It was 3 seconds left before the plant come out. If they get a single tag, if one of their players plays a little more aggressive, Fuel can stop it in their tracks and take us to the 3rd map. Instead, they're going to be going back as heading back, seeing if they can break through the attack. They can break through the defense of Panther yet again. As it was kind of where they struggled, but they took it pretty confidently on this first round of OT. Second OT here is the default. Dark coming out for Rhetoric yet again. They're playing very standard here for Fuel, but it looks like it's just being aggressive A play. 3 players here as well as 2 over towards mid. They're favoring A. On find drone finding Yoru, not enough. As Nagi going to dash aggressively here into A main, but is going to get seized out. Keep back eventually. But he finds Arc instead. He says, "Do that. I'm not going back. I'm finding 2."
It's like that. We see so many back-to-back picks. How do we 2v3 favoring Fuel here? See down already to just the chamber. They're going to try to get a plant down.
Feels like Panther just can't find any sort of answer towards defending this A site here. Fuel just decides to play it fast, as it's just Chamber and a 1v3 left alone. Has been firing, but he will not be hot enough to stop that round. Fuel taking again to map point. It's their map to win at this point. It feels like they're completely dominating Panther on this attack side. They just have to stop they have to stop Panther's attack.
Absolutely. I think they realized what they were doing really successfully in that first map, and especially in those first couple rounds for Corrode, and they followed with it. I mean, that you saw that instant speed, the util, the drone immediately out into sight as quickly as they could, being aggressive and just really trying to overthrow any defenses right off the bat.
Panther, they're going to do exactly what Fuel just did and walk down mid, or walk down A, right? But they don't have that waylay to be able to double dash to easily clear out A main. They have to walk through M6 here, who is going to find 1. But he is going to get picked off by Iron Player on the escape, trying to TP out. A 1-for-1 trade. Omen and Yoru traded, but Viper going to fall to Iron Player as now Panther again in a lead. They have player advantage. Fuel. The waylay is so far behind. He's stuck mid, but Etherin, Rhetoric going to find 1. Now it's a 3 versus 3, but again, you're really late on your waylay play. Not do so much, but you're going to get that spam to Rhetoric Iron Player as well. Now it's a 1 versus 3 here for Nagi. Try to clutch this one out. He can't do much as there's going to be an operator called for Iron Player. Got those kills, got the orbs. Spike has not gone down yet. Instead, they just want to play for this kill. 4K there for Iron Player. And we're going to be heading to the 3rd overtime here on Corrode.
That was a much faster paced round than Panther's other attacks, and as we go into yet again another round of overtime, we look at the buys here.
Iron Player
A
is
lot of Phantoms, a lot of Vandals full buy.
30 kill player in this game right now. Iron Player is going to be 30-21. Not a bad map for them at all, but honestly, every member has been just been a game of who win these duels, Pond's not going to find anything, but Arc is going to find Noggy as the opening pick here. This is the first time Fuel has lost the first pick on their attack here on OT. But Google finds one, finds a second. A beautiful play there for your Viper, but that's finds the trade. This is now a 3 versus 2 as Uber is also going to find Ethrin, M6, and Rhetoric. They both found beautiful clutches so far, but they're going to be in trouble as the PP behind. Just a little bit of a discombobulating play there onto that.
The paranoia
Getting a little
into
bit
the teleport.
Yeah, M6 flexing a little bit there. 2 versus 2. Rhetoric rotating over towards A site. The plant is going to come down safe here as they're just going to play this post plant back here. Next site. You are versus both a Viper and the very, very hot chamber right now. He was shooting so well. See if Iron Player can keep this up or Fuel can stop it and take another attack half. The orb comes out as Iron Player walks in. Tap comes in for Uber. Scan dart is there. Recon bolt. Not much. Iron Player finds one. M6 does get the trade. 1 versus 1, but the time is favoring M6. Spike has to be tapped. Gun picked up yet again, but he finds the spam kill.
Through the box.
Unfortunately going to fall on their attack half here. Means now they have to win defense to keep themselves in this map.
They have been
in
doing
this
it
series.
a little bit harder on defense though, so hopefully they can take it back and get those 2 rounds in a row.
They've been struggling though on defense so far on this
on
OT.
overtime. Yeah,
So we'll see if they can maybe break through as feels like Panther finally broke through on their own defense. Can Fuel break through on attack? Or Fuel break through on defense rather. Noggy with an operator trying to make a bit of a hero play here for your Waylay as the rest of Fuel just be on standard rifles. Panther 5 rifles to their name. Match point for them for the first time in this entire map. And they take this. I'm gonna use that reflect early from Noggy. Just get away from that flash. And Ace E-Site is instantly flooded here for Panther as 2 trades come out onto Iron Player. It feels like Fuel, they're faltering here. Iron Player finds a 3rd. And now it's just left to your AO and your Omen who's on the flank. Can either really find this answer here as they're going to have to find magic here. Ethrin finds the first one. You pick off this Yoru, it'll be crucial. But Ethrin is going to be the last alive. Finds 2 here. Fighting into all members of Panther as Fuel ACAD are unfortunately going to fall and corrode 16-14 and are going to fall in their quarterfinals match. FIU Panther taking it 2-0. A valiant effort from both teams.
absolutely. Getting into that overtime, they fought very well, very balanced between the 2 teams, and it was really unfortunate in that very last moment. The KO getting taken out with utility in hand. He unfortunately just got timed out.
He was left in a 1 versus 3 though, so it was very hard for Ether to take that one. Not having Fuel, just not being able to find the answer on those first 2 halves where it really felt like they should have been able to win. Instead, as soon as Panther broke through on the attack, they were able to just dominate defense. Fuel struggling here. Going to end up falling again. 2-0. Very good. Very good series. Both maps extremely close. 13-9, 16-14. Both teams very evenly matched. FIU just a little bit better on the day.
And that's what we love to see though, is that balance. We don't want to see one team just get absolutely stomped out. We want to see a fair, well-matched game.
Yeah, and we will have to see if we can maybe get an interview with one of these players here to hopefully get ourselves into, just get a little bit of insight of how their season overall went, as we didn't get to see them very much, right? This is the first time we got to see them on stream, as they are one of our ACAD teams. They're playing on Wednesday, which is a quite hotly contested day for streams. But obviously, we'll see how they're feeling. It's not a great feeling to lose, especially in playoffs, but I feel like strong mental on these teams, and I think we'll be able to find someone who's willing to, chat to us about their season.
We will we'll try to see if we can grab an interview, but we will be back after a short. We are back, and we have Nagi here to interview him. I don't have any immediate questions off the top of my head, but Ian, what were you thinking?
I think I wanna chat about a bit of the game plan going into things, right? I think it felt like you guys started to come a bit more alive on defense half, especially on Corrode, right? Felt like you guys started to warm up, but also as the rounds came out later on, felt like it started to warm up. Was there a little bit of like a mental, was your mental staying stable throughout the entire series, or was there bits, dips, and highs here and there? You say?
There were definitely some dips, but for the most part, it was pretty stable.
Yeah, solid. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think
During the those timeouts, what were the comms? What were you guys like thinking in those moments? What were you trying to switch up?
We were mostly just like trying to figure out how the other team would play, and then how we can try to counteract that.
yeah, that's I think usually what ends up happening. Ignoring obviously a bit of an unfortunate loss here, right? 0-2, but still a fairly good showing overall, right? Very close maps. What I believe 13-9 first map, and then 16-14 second. If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
I
So
like that.
solid showing overall. But I want to talk more about maybe more your season as a whole, as we didn't get to see you on broadcast at all, right? We didn't. It's the first time we've really been able to see you. How do you think overall this season went, and like, do you think your team did well overall? How do you think everything went?
We started the season really rough, going 0-2, but then we came back, won the last three season matches of the season, then won first round playoff.
Very fair, very fair. Got any like big takeaways coming out of this season?
We're definitely a really momentum based team. If the vibes are high, we win more and we play better. Vibes are low, we just like falter, start losing.
I completely understand that. Uh, I don't have any further questions.
I wanna thank you very much, Nagi for coming for the interview. Shout out 6-7 by the way. You guys hit that the score was 6-7 like 3 times, and then we do want to give a quick shout out to one of our Fuel very own who is celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Angel or Marie. Was working the room tonight for the team. The GOAT indeed. Happy birthday to you. Shout out. And then but thank you very much for joining us, of course, Nagi. Unfortunate end to your season, but we hope to see you back maybe next season as well as the rest of the team. Maybe taking a spot on that main roster. We'll be taking a look at our schedule the rest of the week. Tomorrow, we got Rocket League action for some playoffs. Friday, we got some Overwatch action. And then I believe that's the rest of our week. We'll be seeing what we're going to be seeing. Maybe some other games here and there. But as far as streams for the rest of the week, yeah, we'll be seeing Rocket League and Overwatch.
Yeah, and then coming into next week, we have the first stream of the season, I believe, for Apex.
Potential Apex stream. And then actually, I believe this guy's on the Apex team as well, actually, Nagi, making playoffs through Monday's night, a clutch there, as well as Thursday, looking to be Rocket League. But with that, I've been Newt. This has been Grifford. I think it's the first time we've actually introduced ourselves the entire night.
Yeah, we forgot
due to how the stream ended up running. But I want to thank you very much for joining us. Unfortunately, we'll be saying goodbye to our Fuel Esports ACAT team and their playoff run in NACE Club. But we want to make sure that you're here for our next streams. Make sure you follow our socials everywhere. Fanshawe Fuel on every single platform. With that, we'll see you in the next stream.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 11th week of the Fuel Esports Weekly Update. We're hot off of our biggest event of the season, and playoffs are in full swing. Let's talk about how it's going so far. First off, let's recap what happened last week. We were so excited to have everyone out for the Battle of the Forest City charity land in support of Extra Life. It was a great event, and we were so happy to see all of you enjoying it. And thank you to Western Esports and Gaming Association for partnering with us and bringing the energy as well. We'll still be accepting donations at fsu.ca/extralife, and we'll be posting photos and videos of behind the scenes on our social media at Fanshawe Fuel in the upcoming weeks. On Monday, we held our second EAFC night of the year on EAFC 26. You guys still love the new game, and we're going to continue doing it with another one coming up next month. Make sure you come out for that one. Playoffs are here, and Fuel Esports is in the competition. Our rosters are fighting for their spots in their respective divisional or national championships, like Fuel Esports Call of Duty, who unfortunately was the first to fall after a loss to Texas A&M International in NACE Varsity Premier. To stay up to date with all of our playoff updates, make sure you follow us at Fanshaw Fuel to see daily score reports and our weekly stream schedules, which you can watch live at twitch.tv/FanshawFuel or on Rogers TV on channel 13. Speaking of Rogers TV, let's talk about what's coming up soon. We're happy to announce that Rogers TV will be airing the full Battle of the Forest City Charity LAN on channel 13. We'll be back with an update on a specific date and time as they become available. And finally, we'll be back next Monday for another Monday night game night for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. We'll be in Four-Wall Hall at 6 p.m. for friendlies, and the bracket will begin at 7. Make sure you show up early to get signed up. And that's all for this week. Connect with us at Fanshaw Fuel on all social media so you don't miss any future updates. We'll be back with another one next Tuesday.